Alright, so just a few weeks ago, I was blissfully unaware of the oddly popular opinion that the human characters within the Sonic movies were bad. And as a follow up, that the Knuckles show just wasn't great in general. This information shocked me, but I wasn't gonna do a video on it till I was shown this article in particular. Now, I know this site doesn't speak for every person on the planet, but I'm not gonna lie. It made me annoyed. Not only that, but a commenter of one of my previous videos also dissed the Knuckles show and Wade Whipple. So, because of all that, here we are. So, without further ado, here's my reasoning why the human characters are very important to the Sonic movies, and also why I think the Knuckles show is better than people are saying. Let's get into it. So there are two different articles that I read that I'm going to use as a sort of template to respond to within this video. This article, which I already showed you, as well as this article. They both share a few different points, all of which I'll try to counter-argue, but the biggest point that both these articles make is that the human characters are too goofy when it comes to their humor and interactions in general. Now right off the bat, this just isn't true. Tom is the backbone of heartfelt and meaningful teaching moments within these movies. In the first one, Tom has quite a few special non-goofy moments with Sonic. The first, I'd say, is when he crashes after his fun night of checking off bucket list items at the bar. Tom tucks Sonic into bed, caring for him and seeing him as something other than the annoying blue hedgehog he's been helping. Very sweet. The second is the whole time the two of them are arguing about the fact that Tom wants to leave Green Hills. Even though some funny jokes and explosions happen in between, there's genuine conflict and arguing happening. And then after, Sonic gets knocked out from a bomb, and Tom rushes him over to Maddie and his sister-in-law's house. Finally, there's the touching moment where both Tom and Maddie show Sonic his new room in the attic, a scene that made me smile both times I watched it. In the second movie, there are a few less heartfelt moments overall, as Tom and Maddie are on screen less. However, Tom still has a serious talk with Sonic on the lake, telling him that his moment will come to be a hero. And then later, him and Maddie stick close to Sonic, even as it seems that Eggman is about to crush them under his giant robotic foot. No silly jokes, no humor of any kind, just the three of them huddling together, calmly accepting their fate while saying I love you to each other. And then finally, we have the third movie, which, even though it has the least amount of Tom in it, he probably has the most impactful role in this movie. First off, there's the scene in the beginning of the movie where Tom talks about how it's Sonic's heart that makes him who he is, not what he does. And this literally sets up the entire movie, because this talking point gets rehashed multiple times. The main difference between Sonic and Shadow is their heart, what they went through. And not only that, but this scene also is shown as a flashback through Sonic's mind, which leads me to the second big moment that Tom had, that he wasn't even conscious for. When Sonic realizes that Shadow hurt Tom, he goes ballistic. If it weren't for this fact, there wouldn't have been a big fight between the hedgehogs. No sharing of past experiences, maybe even no team up with Shadow. Tom is Sonic's Maria, just like Chris was Sonic's Maria in Sonic X. It was that connection that made Shadow turn and trust Sonic. Which brings me to my next point, that within these movies and shows, Sonic and friends need human characters if there's gonna be growth. Tom, and even a little bit of Maddie, helped Sonic grow up, to mature. Yes, he had been alone on Earth for 7 years before meeting these two, but that was just survival. Tom and Maddie gave Sonic structure, love, and people to lean on when things get tough, even if that last lesson takes him a while to learn. And to piggyback off of that, Wade is a help to Knuckles as well. People think Wade is too goofy and drags down the Knuckles show, which, yes, he's goofy, but that's the whole point. The whole problem that Knuckles is having is that he isn't comfortable with Earth, and he needs to relax. Knuckles is a very serious, mature, and literal character. He's so serious and literal that he trusted Eggman in the second movie. Knuckles is not a character that needs mature development or deeply emotional moments. He's already capable of all that. Because far before Shadow existed, Knuckles was created to be Sonic's opposite. Sonic is blue, so Knuckles is red. Sonic is fast, so Knuckles is strong. Sonic is carefree and immature, where he's always getting into trouble. So Knuckles is serious and overly mature, to the point where he's attacking construction workers. Therefore, Knuckles doesn't need someone like Tom or Maddie to help him be structured and more grown up. He needs a goofy, dorky pal that can loosen him up, aka Wade. And on top of that, the reason that Wade is such a forefront in the show of Knuckles was because Knuckles' story was complete. He was guarding the Master Emerald. It was safe. What more could they think up that would give Knuckles a more dominant role in his show? Make another character for him to train in a serious way? That would defeat the purpose of him letting loose and having fun on Earth. So Wade's story provides growth for not only him, but for Knuckles as well, while making it fun and enjoyable in the process. Also, side note, who the heck cares if the human characters are a little goofy? The jokes and the silly scenes are funny. And yeah, in real life, the wedding scene would have probably been handled a little bit more in a normal fashion, like Tom simply saying that he mixed up the rings or something like that. But come on, it was still enjoyable. I got a good laugh out of it, and so did my parents that have had to endure every single Sonic movie and the Knuckles show with me. So, when did Sonic fans get so uptight about all this stuff? I mean, seriously, learn from the guy these movies are based after and relax. It's still a franchise mainly directed at kids. You can't have everything be mature, emotional, and profound. Because if that's the case, you shouldn't like the Sonic Boom show either, which has definitely become something most Sonic fans seem to enjoy on average. There are enough deep, intense situations within these movies. And yes, even the Knuckles show. It's like a lot of Marvel movies. I mean, they could be in the middle of a fight, and then you have someone like Spider-Man geeking out over Winter Soldier's arm. So if that's fine, what the human characters do in the Sonic franchise is fine too. And now for my second point, it's about the amount of time the human characters are on screen. And I hate to break it to you, but the reason is because it's a live-action movie. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, unfortunately they don't actually exist. They're CGI. So why on earth are you gonna make a live-action movie series if all the characters are in it are CGI? That's just ridiculous. Especially now that articles like these are making the argument that since Eggman is gone, there should just be a cast entirely made out of animated characters, but put them in a real live world. Oh wait, and on top of that, there are some people suggesting that they should go to other worlds. So, you know what that means? That means more CGI on top of the CGI characters on screen. On top of all the explosions, special effects, and other common stuff with action movies. The fourth movie is already taking longer to come out than its predecessors. And my personal theory as to why this is because of the addition of at least 2 more CGI characters. Possibly more if they also decide to throw in Silver, Rouge, or some other character. That's a lot of work, and also very, very expensive. The human characters help make the CGI worth it, as well as give the creators a little less to worry about since not every single scene has CGI characters in it. That's why they did it with the movies, and that's especially why they did it with the Knuckles show. Because live action without anything, well, alive in it is pointless. So no matter if it's Wade, Tom, Maddie, Randall, or Rachel, they need to keep them in this franchise to keep it grounded in some kind of reality. And the last thing I want to mention, these human characters, they are people. And they get along with the people who do the voiceovers of the animal characters very well. 3 movies and a show is a lot of time. The first Sonic movie came out back in 2020. Hello, that was over 5 years ago. And we're not even including the time before that to make that first movie. So, in a way, these actors are family. Call it corny if you want, but it would be messed up to just kick the live action actors to the curb because, quote, their characters aren't needed. Which is entirely not true. They're all good at what they do. And they all serve a purpose. From being the crutch of Sonic and Friends character development to comedic relief, they all make the movies feel complete. Finally, I just want to touch on the cycle that seems to occur, especially around the Knuckles show. The first time it was criticized for its goofy, silly nature was when it first came out. and the structure of it worried fans because they didn't want the third movie to have that same vibe. And now it's happening again, as rumors of a Shadow Spinoff show are circulating, and people have the same worry. And I get it. I don't think a Wade and Shadow team up would be smart in the least. But I also think that we're not gonna get that. Unlike Knuckles, who had very little to build off of for a spin-off show, Shadow is overflowing with stuff unexplored and unanswered. Black Doom was never mentioned in the third movie, Rouge and Omega haven't been introduced yet, and just in general, Shadow hasn't finished his character arc. He's still very closed off and alone. Personally, I think for a Shadow spin-off, it would be great if we had something that gave him complete closure over Maria. Whether that be through time displacement, like in the Shadow Generations game, or just him working with Gunn and understanding everything that happened. I mean, he saved the world in the third movie, sure, but he's still hurting. So for them to make a goofy, silly show out of his situation would be financial suicide. Okay, so I think I got it all out of my system. That was my argument/rant on why I think the human characters should stay within the Sonic franchise. What did you think of it? Too harsh? Or maybe you agreed with me? Let me know in the comments. And if you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!